It's the end of the week, which means only one thing. It's time for the weekly wrap up. And joining me again is Ken, the FX freak. We've seen UK growth revised down due to an increase in inflation to consumers. What else did this fourth quarter GDP data tell us?
Yeah, so a real lackluster GDP report for Britain, not good. A takeaway for me, growth only being 1.4% this year as noted by the ONS, and the slowest major economy for growth, Britain. Oh, not good. This is really disappointing. But the downward revisions notable in the mining, energy generation and services was enough to see GDP as a whole tick lower. And as you correctly noted there, the real takeaway is the fact that inflation, how high it is and how high prices are at the moment, causing issues for a lot of these industries, well, particularly the consumer-facing industries, because due to the fact that consumers are feeling the squeeze because inflation being so high. And, you know, as we know, wages are picking up, but they're still low. But the UK consumers' affordability isn't there. So this is affecting some of those companies or the industries as a whole due to consumers facing the squeeze and not being able to spend as much as they should be, really. So that being the real driver. So a lot to think about for the Bank of England now, because it's almost a catch-22. They can't rush too much to raising rates because it could put people further out of the pocket. So they've really got to do this in a timely manner and correctly execute it. Otherwise, they'll cause another issue for the country. But the pound is suffering at the moment. It has given up that 140 mark once again versus the dollar.
This week, Theresa May gathered 11 of her most powerful colleagues to discuss a Brexit strategy. What else came out of this meeting?
Oh gosh, poor Theresa May, is she in some trouble again? She held a meeting earlier this week and obviously discussing her Brexit strategy ahead of her speech in the Commons on Monday. Now, there were some rebels vetoing against Theresa May's plans, particularly surrounding the custom union. So this is, about import duty and free trade within the union. Now, there was a particular rebel that wants Britain's arrangement with the EU to stay as it is in terms of the custom union. However, that's not within Theresa May's plans on that front. So this has sparked a lot of worry about Theresa May's leadership once again in jeopardy. And we've seen some commentary actually coming out of Jeremy Corbyn of the Labour Party, the leader there. It's funny, any chance that he has, he'll jump in and try and cause some problems for the Tories. But he's essentially looking to back the amendment that was put by the Tory rebels in terms of, retaining that custom union agreement that Britain already has with the EU. So be aware there could be a lot of volatility for the pound to come, particularly on Monday when Theresa May has that speech. And I'm sure a lot of other parties, such as the SNP, will also try and put some pressure on May. So a bit of shaky times once again for her. Her leadership so far for the UK has not been plain sailing at all. So just beware on the pound for that.
Ken, as the US dollar makes gains, the European stocks are feeling the pressure. Will this trend continue?
Yeah, so we are observing some dollar strength across the board and stocks pulling back. That is on the back of Wednesday evening where we had the FOMC minutes and the market's actually taking away a real hawkish tone from this. But for me, I did see some dovish messages in there. But nevertheless, look, we are seeing some dollar strength. And that is mainly due to the fact that further tightening may be appropriate due to the strengthening economic conditions. So further hikes potentially to come, and it does look set that we're going to see that March hike. And they also, most of the members seeing a pickup in inflation over the medium term, closer towards the Fed's 2% target. But for me, I think inflation is something that could slow them down later in this year. I feel they are really disregarding how low inflation is for the time being. Whether we see this dollar strength continue, yes, I believe in the short term that trend is likely. But as we start to see inflation remaining low, and that is an important factor, as we know, that's going to be driving the Fed this year, if that does remain low, that will slow them down. Thus, we will see the dollar softening due to the fact that the Federal Reserve are not meeting with the market expectations of at least 3 or 4 hikes this year.
That's the end of this episode. From myself and Ken, goodbye.